Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. A while back I mentioned that I was planning to do a comprehensive review of several different mascara primers, and many of you said, please, I want to see that because I don't know which primer to buy. So that is what we're going to be doing today. Initially I thought I was only going to be comparing 4, but I remembered one that I had used way back and I wanted to bring that into the mix as well. So I have 5 mascara primers that I'm going to be going through quickly today. I'm going to talk about the pricing of each, the ingredients, how they perform, and addressing the question, do you really need a mascara primer? So if you're interested, then just keep on watching. So first off, I'm going to address the last question first. Do we really need mascara primers? If you have seen my mascara tips and tricks video, which I'll link below, then you will know right away that I fully support the need for a primer mascara. For me personally, I see a huge difference in how quickly I am able to build volume over the top of a mascara primer. Also, something that I have noticed is when I regularly use a primer, and I'll get into specifics of which ones, but when I use a mascara primer, I also notice that my lashes themselves seem to stay longer and not fall out as quick. So I think there are also lash benefits to using a mascara primer. And thirdly, I have noticed between some of these primers that it can, not always, but it can help prevent some extra smudging. So for those reasons, I fully believe that a mascara primer is a wonderful, and for me personally, a necessary step in my makeup application. Now, having said all of that, how do we apply a mascara primer? I'm going to cut to a demo here really quick where I show you how to apply it, and then we'll go back and I'll talk about each of the 5 primers that I have here specifically. Today I'm going to use the Origins Underwear for Lashes. This is one I have not shown on my channel, but all mascara primers you pretty much apply the same way. So this one has a little bit skinnier brush, but I've curled my lashes, and now I'm going to apply this a pretty thick coat all through my upper lashes. And I like to do my upper lashes first and then my lower lashes, because with all primers, one mistake a lot of people make is they wait for the primer to dry before adding their mascara. And when you do that, it makes your lashes crispy and a little harder to work the mascara through. So even though it seems really wrong, it's the right thing to do. So after you get a good layer of that primer all through your lashes, you'll see I've got some clumps and stuff. I'm just going to leave those there because that helps give our mascara something to cling to. And then I'm going to use this trial size. This is the Lancome Monsieur Big mascara. And I'm just going to go right over the top of that. And what I feel like is when you apply a mascara over a primer, it's like you're applying your second coat of mascara when it's really your first coat. I will still usually apply 2 coats of mascara, but I think it minimizes how many coats you have to do. So there is 1 coat of mascara over the primer. So now as far as price difference, so there is a dramatic price difference between all 5 of these. So the least expensive is going to be the Essence Volume Booster. This retails for $4.99, and I got this through Ulta. I think Essence has their own website you could probably get it through too, but $4.99 for this. Next on the list would be L'Oreal. This retails for $7.99. Now, if you're familiar with Ulta, you know they do deals, and Walmart and Target also sell this, and it is slightly cheaper there, but retail price is $7.99 for this. Then next is the CoverGirl LashBlast Amplified Volume Primer, and this retails for $9.49, so we're kind of jumping up there for the drugstore. And then we get into the two higher end ones, and this is the Origins Underwear for Lashes. This retails now for $20. I think way back in the day when I first started using it, it was around $10. So that just shows you times have changed. And then last on the list is Lancome. This comes in at a whopping $26. Now, these 5 primers are not by any means the only primers out there. It's funny because I just saw that Marc Jacobs has now released a mascara primer, and several others are jumping on that bandwagon. You also may have seen me use the L'Oreal Double Extend mascara that has a primer on this end. I'm not using this as a comparison today because it comes with its own mascara, and I find that this functions slightly different than the rest. Okay, so now finally we're going to talk about which ones I recommend and which ones I don't, and we'll get into just a little bit of specifics of how they perform and ingredients. So CoverGirl LashBlast Amplify Primer. This was, in my opinion, the outright dud of them all. It did not provide nearly as much volume to my lashes as the others. I also felt like throughout the day, my lashes kind of lost their curl, and I don't have that problem. My lashes hold a curl pretty well, so I was kind of surprised by that. And also, being the most expensive of the drugstore 3 that I tried, I found it least effective in providing that volume and, again, holding the curl through the day. It does have a lot of great ingredients. It's got jojoba oil, coconut oil, castor seed oil, so it has some conditioning ingredients in it, but overall, this was just not one that I found really worth purchasing. Now, the 2 that are in the middle for me, I liked them. I think they're good, but not quite as good as my favorites. The first one would be the Essence Volume Booster. It's definitely a good deal. If you don't have a whole lot of money to spend, you just want to see what a primer's about. This one does a decent job. This is the Volume Booster. This one actually says that it's infused with acai oil and mango butter for helping to nurture the lashes. I do feel like the lashes, it did condition the lashes like some of the other primers well, and it did a decent job at adding volume. I do like the brush on this one. I think it's pretty easy to use, but maybe because it's just a slightly wetter formula, I didn't feel like I was able to build quite as much volume over the top of this as my other favorites. Next in the middle, you might be kind of surprised, but is the Lancome Cils Booster. Now, this is a really good one, and it does boast lash nourishing benefits as well to help your lashes kind of grow longer and stay longer. And I do think that that is true. I do like the brush. This one is a much drier formula. It's kind of an interesting, very similar to me to the L'Oreal Voluminous primer. But I think at $26, I didn't feel like this added as much volume as my top 2 favorites. So by various process of elimination, you figured out my top 2 are the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer and the Origins. Now, there is quite a difference in price between the 2. Origins, because I have a long time relationship with this particular product, I couldn't help but include it in this video. I had not used it in quite a long time. I ordered it again, and this is the one I used in the demo, obviously. And I do really think that this is a great primer. It does last a long time. I think one of these tubes for me lasts about 3 months or so. The other thing about Origins is they really put great ingredients in their products. So if you are more concerned about kind of natural, all natural ingredients, all that stuff, you might be more interested in this one than the L'Oreal one. So this one's at $20, so it is higher on the price tag, but Origin's website, they do offer deals quite often throughout the year, so you can get it at a reduced rate. And finally, the one that you've all seen time and time again on here is the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. I do feel like among all the ones that I've used here today, this is one of the top two. And for the price of $7.99 or less, I think this does an amazing job. The brush is kind of a medium-sized brush. I find that this formula has a little bit more of a powder-like formula, and what that does, I think, is it helps build volume on top of it even faster. The more liquidy kind of versions, it's a little harder to get that mascara to build up quite as quickly. So I feel like this, and I think all of these except for the CoverGirl LashBlast one, really my curl, it helps hold the curl in place. And this one I've talked about before, in combination with the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal, that mascara, by using this first on my lower lash line, this does keep that mascara from smudging on my lower lashes. So all in all, I do really highly promote a mascara primer, especially if you have just shorter lashes that need a little extra lengthening, you want that little extra fullness, and if you've never tried a primer before, I would highly recommend you checking one of these out. And again, as I said in the demo, the key is do not let the primer dry before applying your mascara. All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. For those of you who've been interested in checking out a mascara primer, but just didn't know which one to try, hopefully I gave you enough information today to decide which one is best for you. I will link all of the ones that I talked about today down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.